Can people hear me? Do we want it louder? Okay. Yeah, well, I'm waiting for my audio person to turn it up. Okay, check. Testing. Camera is live. Okay, where are my glasses? Welcome, family and friends, to Mary's Celebration of Life, and thank you for coming. I'd like to also welcome the Costers in Kansas, Aunt Lindy in Toronto, Rosemary David, friends of ours and friends of Alex in the UK, and friends in Canada and others around the world streaming this service online. My name is David Wright Jr., for any of you who don't know me. I'm Mary's son, and I will be your MC for today's service. Speeches should last about an hour, after which you're welcome to mingle and share stories and memories about Mary. If you would like to speak about Mary up here, let me know, or my wife, Marjorie, somewhere around, there's Marjorie, and let me know, and we'll make time towards the end. Special shout out to Trish Langmuir Taylor for the correction. Thank you, Trish. Mary's goddaughter, who wrote the lovely obituary for Mom. Mary Ann Wright was a wife, a mother, a grandmother, an aunt, a godmother, and a great friend to many. She never had a gray hair on her head. She was a generous donor to over 50 reputable charities. She lived 88 plus years and was always available to speak, help, advise, and direct us to be better. Religious faith was never a core in our family moving forward, but Mom tried to instill Catholicism, yes, I can actually say that, when we were kids. We would try to attend Mass at the Holy Rosary Church on Sundays, but as we entered the church, Dad's feet would heat up and start to smoke. So that didn't work. In addition, becoming a sailing family, and that would interfere with weekends at the RCYC. So, in honor of Mom's commitment to try, I would like to lead us in the Lord's Prayer for Mary. Please open your handouts, if you have one, with Mary's picture. Where the hell's mine? Because I don't remember it. Where there's a copy of the Lord's Prayer on the very back. Let me know when you're, everybody ready? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Our first speaker is Paul Neat, who lived next door to Mom and Dad for 17 years here in Collingwood, and would like to say a few words on Mom's behalf. Paul?
Thank you. Mary Wright, my next door neighbor for 17 years, and inspiration. Mary is a very passionate person, as everybody knows. She was the guardian of the Silver Creek wetlands, which was adjacent to her home in the forest. David and Mary spearheaded community involvement that had the issue of building on wetlands in the forefront of the politicians. And they successfully maintained a blockage of that building until about 2012. In 2014, unfortunately, the builder had done a backdoor deal with the city to change the town plan and make this building possible in the wetlands. Well, there's something you don't do with Mary, and that's get her bugged. because she was reinvigorated. And she got together, a family and friends and people from the neighborhood into her home, and she articulated the story to us and got us all excited, got us, and we're going to protest this. We're going to make sure this doesn't happen. So we carried on in 2014. I got involved as a result of this meeting. We had other people from the neighborhood. And in 2020, the builder now had a plan to build on our wetlands, which we didn't want to happen. So Mary said, you guys, you young guys, you got to take it on and you got to take it to the builder. You got to make this happen. I'm going to pass on the reins. Now, David and Mary had been working several decades on this project very successfully. But the stakes were higher. But Mary was there 100% with David, and she continued to convey a passion to the neighborhood that we were going to win this. Now, we carried on, and we fought a fight with the developer, and that fight continues to this day, and there still isn't any building there yet. But one of my many conversations with Mary was on her commitment to me that she was going to lead the sit-in to block the bulldozer if they ever got to the wetlands. And I said, Mary, bulldozers are big. We're small. But she was always prepared to commit. She had a lot of spunk. And she'll be missed. But I want to give cheers to her spirit. We will be so lucky to embrace a portion of that as we remember Mary. So thank you.
Thank you, Paul, for those very, very kind words. Alexandra and I were raised by an amazing mom. She did her very best to protect us, love us, inspire us, discipline us, and provide for us. I didn't always drink the Kool-Aid Mom suggested and got caught numerous times with my fingers in the cookie jar, right, Bob? Alex, however, learned from my indiscretions and tried to become the near-perfect daughter that every parent dreams of. I think you got a story. Yeah, no. What she learned most was don't get caught like David would. Anyways, our next speaker is none other than Alexander Wright Elling, who would like to talk about Mom. Goo? Sorry, Alexandra.
Thank you for being here today. I know my mother would be deeply touched by your presence. She was a kind and gentle soul, always approachable, selfless, and giving. My mother had an incredible ability to make time for people, no matter the circumstance. One of her most special qualities was her openness, her willingness to share the challenges and experiences. Don't cry, please. She faced with such courage. Those stories connected with others and often left a lasting positive impact. As I reflect on her influence, I can see how it shaped me as a mother, and I'm profoundly grateful for that. Looking back on her younger years, I know some of her happiest moments were spent at Camp Wapameo, where she found both adventure and peace. That time had a lasting effect on her, enriching her life in ways that stayed with her well into her later years. And of course, there was Rumba, her beloved horse, who brought her so much joy. She adored her granddaughters, Isabella and Christina, and took great pride in the strong, independent women they've become. There's a saying by the French philosopher Jean Dormicent that resonates with me. What is stronger than death is the beauty of the memories you keep of the people you love. I find comfort in the thought of my mother enjoying a good chin wag. as she used to say, with her dear friend Eleanor Ward and her sister Alice, or debating passionately with her brother Bryant over some spirited topic. Thank you.
There's a story that I haven't written down that I wanted to just share with you guys. Sunday nights at Poplar Plains was pretty incredible. We used to have roast beef dinners, and some of the my friends are in the back, and Mary would prepare a beautiful roast, and there was always a waiting list, which was incredible. But what Mom was great about that night, not only the food, was any conversation around the dinner table went that night. Really, anything didn't matter. She accepted my faults. She accepted my friends' whatever faults they may be, or if they were having issues with their parents. So Mary was sort of like a second mother to a lot of us, and just wanted to share that one with you. Okay, Dad. Dad met Mom on a blind date in Niagara Falls, New York at the Pee-wee Pizzeria. 4 years later, at a party hosted by Mom for Eleanor Ward's wedding, Dad had brought a date from the University of New Brunswick. Mom greeted the two at the door and said to Dad, "I guess you and I get to walk down the aisle together tomorrow." Dad had a shocked look on his face. She said, "You're an usher, and I'm a bridesmaid," and Dad felt relief. Well, the rest is history, obviously, and here now to talk about his lovely wife, Commodore David Wright.
Well, good afternoon. I've got pages here. Oh yes, glasses. Isn't that bad? To my darling Snugs, that's what I called her, Snugs. Mary was a remarkable woman, an incredible wife, and a devoted mother. She was loved deeply by her friends for her loyalty, intelligence, and grounded nature. Beyond our shared upbringing and interest, Mary possessed a wicked sense of humor, softened by a warmth that I found in no one else. She was extraordinarily generous with her time and resources, never forgetting a charity or a cause that needed support. Mary was an avid bridge player, drawn not only to the game, but to the companionship it offered. This love for bridge stayed with her throughout her life up until just a few weeks ago. Together we enjoyed a wonderful social life, attending black tie events and grand parties. I'll always remember the Brazilian ball, where Mary dressed in a head-to-toe leopard print bodysuit. A photo of her event appeared in the Globe and Mail, and there were those unforgettable Puna parties. Well, as the saying goes, what happens at Puna stays at Puna. Certain of you know exactly what I'm talking about. We also shared a deep passion for sailing. In the early years of our relationship, we spent weekends racing dinghies at the RCYC, which eventually led us to big boat sailing. First, we acquired Serica 2, and then a Niagara 35, which we sailed for 37 years. Those days on the water brought us so much joy. Our marriage was filled with laughter. I remember in the early days, I'd walk around, oh, this is interesting. I'd walk around our apartment in the nude. One Saturday morning, I went to the front door to pick up the Globe and Mail, and suddenly I felt Mary's hand on my back, pushing me out into the hallway. She quickly shut and locked the door behind me. To my horror, neighbors were coming off the elevator. So there I stood, greeted them with only the Globe and Mail covering me. pleading with Mary to let me back in. Eventually she did, and I learned to watch my back from then on. There was another instance, oh yes, this is interesting. There was another instance in an Austrian hotel where she dared me to run halfway up the staircase naked with a promise of a $1,000 reward, one I successfully earned. We shared a wonderful we shared a wonderful, joyful 63 years together, and this November would have marked 64. I was truly blessed with every moment of our life together. Love you, Snugs. I miss you dearly. Thank you.
Thank you, Dad, for those lovely words. Christina Elling, Mary's granddaughter, would like to now say a few words. Christina?
My sweet grandmother, Fanny, how we will miss your courage, kindness, sharp intellect, and your warm embrace. You wore your age with honor, and your mind remained unfazed and wickedly sharp. When weakness unfolded, you faced it fearlessly, always maintaining an underlying current of humor. My grandmother often joked that old age isn't for sissies. How right she was. Words can never fully capture our grief, but we find comfort in the spirit you leave behind and in the many cherished memories we shared. Some of these have been spoken about already, and there are a few I'd like to add. For my sister and I, city girls who rarely stayed in one house for long, visiting Collingwood always felt like returning to our second home. There, Fanny, a lifelong horse enthusiast, would treat us to visits to Springwell Farm for horseback riding. She was always so proud, forever paying tribute to her elders and youngers through her library of rich stories and family tales. I will never forget the delight in Fanny's eyes during that one summer's trip to Niagara Falls, where we shared in her family legacy and created memories that will forever live in our hearts. One of my fondest memories is of her garden, those vibrant daffodils that bloomed every spring, reminding us of the beauty and warmth she so freely shared. And then there were her adorned culinary skills. Only Fanny could satisfy my childhood cravings. Before we set out for one of our many summer activities, she would always pack us the perfect lunch, a cheese and ham sandwich, a marshmallow square, and a juice box. Upon our return, she would delight us to one of her sizzling grilled cheese sandwiches or her perfectly salted butter pasta, always the highlight of my day. And then, let's not forget the fan favorite, her egg salad. It was always made with love. A girly gal at heart, Fanny would spoil and pamper us with shopping trips, manicures, and trips to Bulk Barn for ingredients to make chocolate chip cookies. Every gesture was sealed with a kiss, leaving her mark with a perfectly outlined touch of rosy lipstick and the delicate scent of Chanel No. 5. But it wasn't just these aspects that made her so special to us. Fanny really did have a brilliant mind. She was an encyclopedia of knowledge, passionate about sociology, history, and current affairs. Small but mighty, she possessed an unnervingly calm demeanor, yet commanded almost any room she entered. A natural debater, Fanny stood firm in her beliefs, while remaining open and sensitive to the opinions of others. Though we are saddened by her passing, we know her spirit lives on in the lessons she taught us, the love she gave us, and the incredible memories she left behind.
At this time, I'll ask, is there anybody that would like to speak about Mary? I see a hand. Mr. Ward. David Ward is the daughter of Eleanor and Bruce Ward. Oh my God. Sorry, David.
Sorry, David.
is the son of Eleanor and Bruce Ward, who were mom and dad's perhaps best friends. Sorry to anybody in this room right now. Sorry.
I've been called a lot of things, but never a daughter. Listen, I'm totally unprepared. My mother's name was mentioned a couple times, and I just want to say David and Mary and my father, Bruce, and Eleanor were best friends. And they've gone through so many experiences together. My dad's long gone, but David spoke at my father's funeral. And Mary, 4 weeks ago, spoke at my mother's celebration of life. And it was very impactful. She told stories about when they traveled, when they were in university, and to a T, everyone at the ceremony, sorry, I'm getting emotional. Everyone at the ceremony said that Mary Wright's words about your mom were so impactful. And it's just such a shock that it's happened so soon after that. But my heartfelt expression of condolences to the Wright family, and I know you guys are strong and you'll move on from this. Thank you.
Dad wanted me to just make a quick mention about Mom's lovely display up here. Various pictures throughout her life. Mary with Rumba, her wedding, granddaughters, sisters, wedding pictures. So, and she had she was part of a Red Hat Society. Maybe somebody can, yeah. So she was part of a Red Hat Society. There is her original. Tricia, help me here. What do you call the? No, the cross, the rosary. Is it the rosary? So there's a rosary there with her name on. Again, she tried again to promote Catholicism to us. Sat in a box for 40 years. I'm sorry. She was a president of the Probus Club up here, and she still wanted to be a member of the RCYC, and she never got that. Thanks, Dad. She always told me that secretly, that she was always an associate member. You never made her a member. So. Burn. So from a formal standpoint, thank you all for coming or watching. I know Mary would be smiling down upon us knowing she was loved, admired, and respected. Take care, drive safe, and be like Mary, and donate some money, some time to whatever less fortunate souls who we may support. Although there was no announced donation designation in the obituary, Mom supported the Humane Society in Toronto. Then when I started volunteering up here at the Georgian Triangle Humane Society here in Collingwood, she switched her donations to this wonderful organization. So as a family, we talked about this the other night, and we agreed that Mom would appreciate if you do want to make any donations on her behalf, make them to the GTHS here in Collingwood. Now to close, I invite a very good friend of mine, Mr. Bigger, if you would step forward. I invite John Bigger to say one word that embodied Mom, that most of us will all kind of understand, and I'll just step away. Mr. Bigger, please.
Unfortunately, I need more than one word. Something very profound happened this morning as I logged onto my Facebook page, and a memory of exactly 3 years ago today is a picture of a very nice, rare roast beef taken on the dining room table of the Wright residence. I am one of those men that took part in that joyous, and she was my second mom. And that word is David!
So, what were we going to say? So with that, the formal speeches and tributes are done. Come up, have a look at the memorial. If you haven't signed the book, there's food and drink in the next room. Hang around, mingle, and as I said, take care of yourselves. Don't be strangers. Dad and I are still in Collingwood. Thank you, everybody. I didn't think it'd cheer up so much, but.